Hey everyone! If you're an aspiring teacher getting ready for those big certification exams, there is one name you absolutely 100% have to know: B.F. Skinner. So today, we are going to break down his super important theory of operant conditioning to give you that extra edge you're looking for.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll tackle the big idea behind it all. Then, we're going to get into the really crucial details of reinforcement versus punishment. After that, we'll see how this all plays out in a real classroom, and then we'll wrap it all up with the key things you need to remember for test day. All right, let's dive right in.
Before we even get into the heavy theory, let's start with a really simple question that I think we've all experienced. Just think about it for a second. A pat on the back, a great job, maybe even a sticker when you were a kid. How does a tiny, positive thing like that make us want to do something all over again? That very simple idea, well, that's the key to understanding everything Skinner was talking about.
And that question leads us perfectly into Section 1, the big idea. It's time to officially meet the man himself, B.F. Skinner, and really get to the heart of what he discovered.
Okay, here it is. This is the definition you're going to want to highlight in your notes. Operant conditioning. It's just a method of learning where our actions are basically controlled by what happens right after. In other words, the consequences of your actions determine whether you're going to do that thing again.
And look, if you only remember one single thing from this whole section, let it be this. It's a super simple cause and effect. A behavior that gets a reward, it's probably going to happen again. A behavior that gets a punishment, it's probably going to happen less. That's it. Everything else we talk about builds on this one powerful idea.
All right, let's get into the mechanics of this thing. This section is so critical for your exams, because this is where we unpack the two main tools Skinner talked about for shaping behavior: reinforcement and punishment. And trust me, getting the difference straight is everything.
So let's start with the absolute basics, the foundation. Reinforcement, doesn't matter what kind, its goal is always to make a behavior happen more often, to increase it. Punishment, on the flip side, its goal is always to make a behavior happen less often, to decrease it. Simple as that. Don't get those two mixed up.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The key to this whole chart is realizing that the words positive and negative don't mean good or bad. Seriously, just think of them like in math class. Positive means you add something. Negative means you take away something. So positive reinforcement, you're adding something good, like praise, to increase a behavior. But negative reinforcement, you're taking away something bad, like a chore, to also increase a behavior. See, both of them make the behavior go up. The exact same logic applies to punishment.
Let's make this real with some classroom examples, because that's what matters. Giving a gold star, you're adding something pleasant, so that's positive reinforcement. Canceling homework for the night, you're removing something unpleasant. That's negative reinforcement. See how both make good behavior more likely? Now for the other side, assigning extra work, you're adding an unpleasant task. That's positive punishment. Taking away recess, you're removing something fun. Negative punishment. Seriously, memorizing these examples is going to be a huge help on your exam.
Okay, so now that we have the theory down, let's look at the actual tools. How does this really help you as a teacher manage a classroom and teach kids pretty complex skills?
One of Skinner's most powerful ideas for teachers is this concept called shaping. I mean, you can't just wait around for a student to perfectly perform some complex new skill to reward them, right? So shaping is this brilliant idea of rewarding all the little baby steps along the way.
Just imagine you're teaching a student a multi-step math problem. You're not going to wait until they get the final answer. No way. You praise them for just writing the equation down correctly. That's step 1. Then you praise them for doing the first calculation right. That's step 2. By rewarding each little step, each successive approximation, you gently guide them all the way to the final correct answer. That is shaping in action.
And honestly, once you start looking for it, you'll see these ideas everywhere in schools today. I mean, think about it. Behavior charts that reward good conduct, a simple nice job to get kids to participate, even the instant correct or try again that pops up on educational software, all of it, every single one, is a direct application of operant conditioning. They're all shaping behavior through immediate consequences.
Phew! We have covered a lot of ground, so let's move into our final section, where we're going to boil all of this down to the most critical points, the stuff you absolutely need for your exams and, for your future classroom.
Let's just let the man himself sum it all up. This one quote, it just captures the entire essence of his theory. It is all about consequences and probability. What happens after an action is what dictates the future of that action. It's that simple. Okay, time for a lightning round review. 1. Operant conditioning is all about voluntary behavior and consequences. 2. Reinforcement. Doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, it always increases behavior. 3. Punishment. Positive or negative, always decreases behavior. And 4. Shaping is your secret weapon for teaching complex skills by rewarding those small steps. Got it? These are your absolute must-knows.
And we'll leave you with one final thought. Skinner's theory, it gives us this incredibly powerful toolkit for shaping behavior, for sure. But as you get ready to become a teacher, it is worth asking yourself, in our modern super complex classrooms, are external rewards and punishments really enough? Or is there something more to inspiring a genuine, lifelong love of learning? Definitely something to think about.